Hi, I'm Jenny Kanoki, and this is my Module 12 over Data Protocol. So Fairfield doesn't really have any set data protocol in place. We look over data, but as I have said in other assignments, we don't go over it very thoroughly, and I would just like to see a different program in place. And so I was basically creating everything from scratch. And so since we just wrapped up our semester tests in first grade, I was thinking to myself, what would I like to be able to do with the data in order to compare it if I were to go over it with my principal or our title teacher? And so I created these different tabs focusing on the different areas. So this is where you could locate the STAR testing and the FastBridge A Math, which is the formative assessments that we just did. You could do weekly math and phonics, where the teacher, is just making a judgment call on how students are doing. It can also serve as a reflection for, whether students are at benchmark, whether they are proficient. You can add more to this. Dibbles, this goes along with reading. This is words per minute, the date they were tested. You could add so much more to this with Dibbles. You could add whether they're whole word reading, how fluent they are. You could add whether they are doing sound by sound with Dibbles. There's a lot more that you could add to for the data. And so my thought process behind this was I wrote basically a letter that I would hand out if I were the principal to my staff saying, asking these questions of like, when you look at data, where do you want to be? How do you want to get there? And so I wrote this saying that, this skeleton of framework, I could share it with each grade level teacher, and we could also share it with the title teacher. And so you would only be able to see your grade level, the principal would be able to see it, and the title teacher. And you can take that skeleton on Google Sheets, and you can make it what you need it to be so that you can analyze the data for your class. And so you would then use this, determine what type of data you want to gather, what your curriculum needs are, what your students' needs are, organize it in one location, which would be this Google Sheets, analyze the data, look for pattern tendencies with students, things they're struggling with, determine what you want to focus on. You, by yourself, or if you have a co-teacher, create a plan of action. What are you guys going to do? What are some things you're going to hit on in lesson plans? Strategize some ideas, determine the goals and the time frame when you want to evaluate how things are going, and then implement the plan. Take daily notes, see how it's going, and it just basically goes in a circle, until you hit your goals for the year. And so I just thought that if we were to have something like this at Fairfield, I would really appreciate it to be able to have my data centrally located, and if everybody that needed access to it had access to it, I thought that would be handy. So thank you for watching.